Just in case you just joined us, we'd like to welcome you to Anaheim Stadium. We're being hosted, shebang is, by the wonderful Angel organization in Anaheim. Right now, it's time to take a look at our Sweetheart Tree letter and see what we have in store for us.
I have always said that marriage is a living death, haven't I, Happy?
It comes from Buena Park, and it's signed by
This little girl without a name,
Mary. Dear Casey, Casey, I love a boy named Paul very much. We went together all summer and part of the school year. One day he came over to my house. He was cold and I knew something was wrong. When I asked him what it was, he just turned away and said,
"That's on fast!" Well, Daddy, with chicks.
Chicks.
And kicks.
Kicks.
I knew the day had come. I knew he didn't love me anymore. Well, he stayed for dinner that night. We talked about it. And he said he had talked to Donna, the girl he went with before me, and he wanted to go back with her. Well, Casey, I wanted to die.
I held him so tight, and I said,
No! Don't!
I have never loved anybody like I have loved you.
Look what your passion flower brought for you. This is what they call in a wheelbarrow.
My heart felt like it was going to stop beating.
Honey, you're the one who's always said that the best things in life are free.
I said,
Your way.
if he wanted to go back to her. Well, Casey, I still love him. Love him very much, and I think I always will. I see him sometimes.
Counting backwards.
Girls, girls, girls.
And I love him even more now. I hope you'll play the song, Casey. Love always, Mary.
You're cool.
I was to speak in support of New Clause 13. And I will say to the minister who wanted to know why racial attack should be singled out. We have seen mass political movements in Europe built with the building blocks of individual acts of racial violence.
This is the social problem dealing with men's relationship with men, which has come into sharp focus in recent American history.
The responsible government that was aware of the patterns of rising fascist violence in Europe would see the need to say that as a phenomenon, a social and a political manifestation, this society will not tolerate individual fascists.
Werner von Braun.
In 1961, the principle of equal opportunity has also been extended to the economic by calling for affirmative action for all qualified persons without regard to race, creed, color, or national origin, as well as the social structure of the entire nation advanced by the passage of the Civil Rights Act.
This Major von Richthofen, a nephew, by the way, of the famous Red Baron of
Alabama.
fame in the ministry, said, "Oh, nothing to it. I give you 5 million personnel. You know, you build a facility somewhere else."
Affirmative action.
nine who'll make it get very personal greetings. By President Kennedy.
I love you,
Kissinger.
and please come to the window
Von Braun.
so I can just see you. I saw you smoking before. I kissed the limousine fumes, Adam.
Thus, in but a few short years, we have witnessed the culmination of an issue which has had its roots, civil rights. Thus, be
Appalled by the fact that it was filled with mathematical equations.
the presidential order written in strong, positive terms. What is right, what is just.
Do you realize that the spaceship was born? Didn't talk about weapons at all.
Its meaning is quite clear. It means the universe.
You two may be your big hero.
President Kennedy is cheered by thousands of Texans on his way to his key speech of the trip.
If we are to extend man's boundary to the outer reaches of Sphere,
There have been huge crowds of teenage girls outside complaining that they don't want to mob you, they just want to speak to you. What do you think about this?
You've learned to count backwards to 0.
Average men and women recorded on their reactions when they heard of the Japanese aggression. Possibly for radio broadcast. Now, will you tell me what you thought when you heard of what the Japanese government had done to the American government?
My first thought was, what a great pity that the world at large, that another nation should be added to those aggressors who strove to limit our. I find myself at the age of 80, an old woman, hanging on to the tail of the world, trying to keep up. I do not want the driver's seat, but of the eternal verity, there are certain things that I wish to express. One thing that I am very sure of is that hatred is death, but love is life. Want to contribute to the civilization of the world, but I remember that the broadness of our sympathies is the measure of our civilization. When I look at the Holocaust that is going on in the world today, I'm almost ready to let go of the tail puppets of the world.